So we're just going to do segments. In the middle of my sentence, I was just saying, Sister Australia was talking about, what'd you call it? Something Sundays.
Self-care Sundays.
Self-care Sundays. And in self-care, she talked about evaluation. And I said there's power also just in stillness and in peace. And when you just literally do nothing. And our society, the demands of the world, our family tells us that we should move on to the next thing. And sometimes we need to just think, I'm a Christian, and that's for me, not for everybody. But my self-care is just looking up and being grateful that I woke up this morning. Yeah. No matter what your religion is, if you whatever it is, it's just being grateful that breath was put into you. Being grateful that you can see the sun and hear the birds chirping. The power of doing nothing. And I learned that, short story, I learned that from my uncle. In my family, we have a lot of premature death. I buried my uncle last year at 59. And I didn't realize the gifts that he gave me until he passed away. But every day when I picked them up, he would just want to, he had little tasks he wanted to do. And I was so consumed of what I had to do next that I would disrupt his peace. But when he would walk out for the first time, every day, he would just step outside and look up at the sun and just breathe it in. And I would disrupt that with, let's go, Uncle Alvin, we got this, we got that to do. I don't have time for you to be taking in no peace. Because I got stuff to do. Well, now that he's passed away, there's little glimpses of him that plays through my mind. And he taught me such a powerful lesson that tomorrow's not promised. And now that he's gone, I feel bad that I didn't take the lesson that he was showing me in the moment to stop and to slow down and to breathe intentionally and slow down that process and just the power of stillness.
Yeah.
No list, no demands, no evaluation, just stillness.
And it sounds so simple, but it was really hard for me to just be still at one point in my life. Like, I literally was crying because I'm like, I don't know how to just be still. I don't know how to just stop. And it was a reality for me. I didn't, because I was so in the habit of the no days off mentality, just going. So it was a process for me to get to this point to where I'm at now, to where I literally am very proactive about my self-care and about having my alone time. And I'm grateful for the support system that I have with my family with that, because I can just call them up and be like, I need some time. Can you watch my son for me? Adrian is his name, my little king in training. They already know what's up.
They in the background watching movies now.
So they already know what's up. I have my alone time, and it's just to take it all in. So I don't be on my phone. I don't think about work. I don't think about my business. I don't think about anything. I just sit there and just be lazy and just be in the moment. But it was a process for me to get to that point.
Yeah. So why don't we start to talk about some ways to kind of overcome the syndrome? I mean, the recap of what you said is kind of like, and I don't even want to call it lazy. I'm gonna point that out, because when people hear lazy, they think it's it's negative, and it's like just doing nothing. Sometimes it's deep breathing, it's meditation. There's a lot of things that you can Google for deep breaths. Things, if you don't know how to deep breathe, if you just draw a figure 8 in the air, you breathe in. And then breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out. What deep breathing does for your body is it increases dopamine. And dopamine is the natural feel-good hormone that we have. Some people get it from false things like drugs and alcohol, but we have the ability that our own body can make ourselves feel good, and deep breathing does that.
It really does.
If we're trying to calm our body down, it even works with kids. I do this thing called the butterfly. It helps when I'm anxious at night. And if you look at yourself and you just create a butterfly and just do soft taps on your chest. And you can even start to talk to yourself and just say, I am worthy, I'm valuable, there's only one of me. I'm worthy, I'm valuable, there's only one of me. Speak life into yourself. And by giving this outside regulation of the soft taps, your heart rate actually starts to mimic the taps into your chest. I put positive affirmations Australia's at my house right now, but she looks, there's little notes. Sometimes I need reminders to say how valuable and irreplaceable I am and how worthy I am. And so I wake up in the morning, there's a positive affirmation on my mirror, on my doors as I enter, because I got to remind myself how great I am and the greatness that God has put in me. And somebody has said a statement, do you know how valuable you are, but how cheap you allowed yourself to become? And you became cheap because you cheated yourself. And no longer can you afford to cheat yourself. There is one in you. So when your cup is empty, how do you fill your cup up?
Yes. And that's so key, because affirmations has been a part of my healing process. Whether you write it on a sticky note, take some lipstick, write it on your mirror, wherever you are often, which is my mirror for me. I have sticky notes on my mirror, and I also took lipstick and wrote different things on there. And it will change as I've changed and go through challenges. My affirmations or the powerful words that I speak would change. So I would say, implement affirmations. And it could be anything from a spiritual text, an empowerment quote, or just something that makes you feel alive, right? And knowing who you are in the inside. Because as she was saying earlier, what we have, the tools that we need to move forward are already within us. We just have to take time to tap into that.
Yeah.
So, affirmations, I would say, also deep breathing. I've recently started yoga. So, there's a class that's offered every week. The name of my yoga instructor is called Raj. I don't know how to say his last name, so I'm just say Raj. But if you're following me on social media, you'll see me talk about him sometimes or tag him on there, and he definitely talks about the deep breathing, the different techniques of breathing, how it helps you, how it helps rebuild your immune system and all that. So I would definitely, recommend you to do that as well. And you can find these little videos on YouTube. They're free 99 on different meditation or breathing techniques to help you, or just having the calm music in the background to help you with relax. I do listen to certain tones, frequencies throughout the day if I'm at work to help me relax. I work with children, so I need to be centered, balanced most of the time when working with them. So putting in your calendar time in so that it's intentional for you. The other thing I say, because we talked a lot about self-care is what we're doing, but not going beyond self-care and self-compassion. Self-compassion is forgiveness for self. It's kindness to self. It's humility. It is the ability to pour into self just like you pour into others. It's nurturing self, and that can be a real challenge for a lot of people. The quote I was trying to remember from John Gray was like, finding me by facing me. And so in order to go to my journey of healing, I have to face me, and that means I have to look deep down inside and say, what does Candy need? What do I need? Not what others need, but what do I need to renew my mind, to move from a broken place to gracefully broken, to now to a journey of healing. Permission to say when I'm sad, I'm sad. and I need to cry. I need to release these emotions. And the other thing is finding positive support groups, people, energy. My sisters support. Shout out to all my sisters, Kiana, Wendy, Sharika, my sister. Talisha, Australia, like Ashley. We have such a strong sisterhood, and they're not related to me by blood,